opposing teams, 49 alive, just 13 minutes into day 2, match 1 on Miramar. And as I've mentioned, certainly a different playstyle tonight compared to yesterday. And I'd say that's just generally the way these sort of tournaments go. Day 1, everyone's a bit finicky, maybe some nerves, or just simply needing to understand how everyone's playing, so things are just naturally slow. But now you've got a bit of a footing. You've played yesterday, the blood's pumping, and what we're seeing, Edge, is a lot more breaches, a lot more deaths on rotations, for instance, as well.
Yeah, that's right. Ronan does take down bot bats on the side here, but a lot of teams, after their first day, they would have gone over the VODs, checked everything out, done their research on other teams and potential rotates and high-quality compounds to hold. So they definitely are coming out here with a bit more experience on the rest of the field, and probably a bit more, just a bit more knowledge. So they'll be looking to bring that in and do whatever they can with it.
Minute 18 seconds till phase 4. Magic Esports, 4 players up, going to be holding Edge. They're not the only ones. There's a lot of these Southeast Asian teams that have been playing more so around the Edge here in PCS 2. And I know this is a bit odd to say after what we've sort of seen over the first 14 minutes, Edge, but there is a little bit more of a structure to the APAC region, more so than the start of the year. Yesterday especially, everything was, yes, passive, but a lot more controlled compared to what was, I always refer back to Charity Showdown as just sort of just chaos. It was like a fireball of a tournament.
Yeah, that's right. And that comes with a lot of teams just adapting to every other region's play of style. A lot of these teams won't be extremely familiar with how every other team plays. So this is just a really good way for teams to get that exposure to different kind of play styles and different metas.
Couple of knocks over the last 2 minutes, but all going to be safely revived. 10 seconds till phase 4. Marcus is going to get breached, though, by Magic Esports. They were hanging around on the edge. Now they've just sent it into Los Leones. They're going to go for a circle push. Does it move away from the city? It very well should. As we see, Marcus does get eliminated. Nicely executed from Magic Esports. Their first kill of the game. And it's a hard feed for From the Future, Divine, and Fury. Those 3 teams certainly should be happy. But, of course, when you get fed like this at this point in the game, and in this region in particular, Edge, you should be very much, wary of teams breaching you, like we sort of just saw from Magic Esports on the Marcus.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do see teams like Fury, who were holding a very big split, now group up on this circle. When it gets a little bit too hard to just solo hold your split, you definitely need to group up and make your fed compound as strong as possible.
Shimabiri knocked down by Kamals. Shot back, though, from Youngkyu to off. He's going to just sit him down for the moment's time as Musate of Kaiser Tuna looking to get involved here. MSC Theraton are just sort of a punching bag for everyone else right now around them, and this can very well be a situation that is quite common on Miramar. If you're outplaced, you're going to be outgunned, and you're going to be the primary target for just about everyone in the vicinity, and that's meaning that MSC Theraton are down to just 1 player remaining, Vega God. Unfortunately for MSC, sort of their day 1 woes have translated over to day 2.
Yeah, it hasn't been the start that they're looking for. They're just getting picked apart in every position they take right now. But that comes with playing on the edge. If you're not getting the best terrain to play on, especially on Miramar, it's super hard to push into other teams. And MSC's found out that the hard way, going anywhere near VTR and KT's splits.
Cerberus just quietly hanging around. They haven't made much of an impact so far for match 1 tonight. Only at the 17.5 minute mark, though, so of course, if they are going to make an impact, it will be over the next 10 minutes or so. Glorious for Game Home, so he's got to be careful when he crosses over to the other side of these concrete buildings. J-Ken's around, so is Knock 10. Going to throw the nade, looking for a bit of a bounce back off the rock formation. Does a little bit of damage, as the Molotov was also placed inside. Corey's doing well here for the time being, just trying to buy time for his team slightly more north of him to come on over, try and get the numbers and make it a bit more of an even fight as we turn our attention over to the edge of Los Leones, Magic Esport and Division X Gaming. Right now, just having this very odd battle between 2 buildings.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting fight, having multiple multi-layer buildings. It's difficult to clear, especially in this circumstance where they really don't have much else to do right now, but they're going to want to clear that as fast as possible for their next circle shift to progress in.
Nate goes in and then somehow goes back out from Game Home. X Stadium were very much accomplished on Miramar for day number 1 yesterday, but they're not going to get too much from here, you'd think. Jaken, Nocturne, completely outmanned here. The Molotov's just going to finish him off. Not going to... Oh, he actually somehow just got out of it at the last second and didn't take any more fire damage. Needs to just try and start firing back, though. So much utility has now been utilized from Game Home. Nocturne, though, 75 health, whips out the barrel, and from this position, can he get a headshot? No, it's something else for Game Home. They had the numbers in a 4v2 for quite a long time. Jaken gets 2, though. God, New Glory's pushed in by themselves without the full team. And they're going to get punished for this. Now Sylphie's going to be coming in quite late along with something else. It's a 1v2. Not an impossible situation here for X Stadium to maybe turn things around. The smart play is probably for Sylphie to go for a revive, try and make it 3-1. Jaken's going to go for the first aid kit, needs to keep the pressure up, keep being aggressive here, try and hunt down something else, or potentially even try and stop this res from happening.
Yeah, Jaken's doing a lot of work right now for being the last man surviving, and it's not really looking all to his favour. He's getting sprayed through the smoke. Last player left, and he gets taken down by Game Home. So that's definitely not the starting game that you really want there for XS.
A lot of utility used, though, for Game Home in that situation at a 4v2. Probably not ideal. Not only that, but they're not even inside of the circle. With what, minute 50 seconds till phase 6, that blue's moving. They're going to be coming in late. They're not going to have position either. So it's hard to sort of gauge how Game Home are going to play from here on out. Magic Esports, though, they were in front of Division X Gaming. Fergus, Long K are going to be shot out of the moving Murado. It's just Sapao and MBK remaining. They're going to get close by to Vega God Shack. They're going to actually be deviated away from that Shack for the time being. That Murado close to blowing up. They're going to probably just force it to blow up at this point. Throw out a few smokes and just hold in this ditch. Very close to Vega God. The kill feed Basil with a knockdown onto Veronica of Day Trade Gaming down to the south, which is where Day Trade are currently holed up.
And we do move across to Bay, who does have the remainder of Archangel very close to them. I think it's just Killer left remaining. So Bay, as soon as they clear this off, they've got a good little ridge on their side of the road that they can potentially progress across the road late. And Sophia does take out Killer. So Bay keeping themselves with a decent position now. A little bit of potential to move in, but it's going to be hard to fight against Divine.
Unfortunately for Vega God, just overwhelmed, and MBK Sapao end up taking that Shack like I mentioned before. Fury getting involved as well with a couple of knockdowns onto Magic Esports. JN lands a few tags, safely go prone, and should be safe for now for Division X Gaming, although for how much longer? They got Fury that will eventually be coming in behind him. Valax, I believe, is now the last one up for Magic Esports.
To the top of the map, we do see Game Home pushing towards Bay here. They might be able to catch out Neferhor by himself unless he's very aware of this. And it does look like they're going to get some shots off, and Neff will be able to back out of that. Next circle shift comes in, centralizes a little bit, so not too many teams are going to have a little bit of trouble coming in right now, apart from the likes of Day Trade and VTR. But this Bay fight, they'll want to clean this up early because they've got a lot of room to make to get across the road here.
Nice nade landing on Sylphie. Bay have definitely got an advantage now. It's a 3 versus 2 from what I can see. Cloris and Sylphie for Game Home. Sophia. A lot of Neferhor. Sophia, though, just gets domed so quickly from Cloris. Well-placed aim with the barrel. 3 kills now for Game Home with a quick flush, and the 2 Aussies are just on the run now in Neferhor and Flood. Sylphie and Cloris just keeping an eye on behind them. It's from the future. We go down to the far, far south to Ryans versus Cerberus Esports. Haisaki just going to push into the smoke. Subanks knocked, but they got men around him to get the revive. He Ryan's just going to pull off for now. But back up north, as soon as we moved away, such is the nature of PUBG, Flood does find the elimination onto Sylphie. So Glory's last one alive for game home.
Yeah, that's right. And Cerberus in this fight here, if they can clean up the remainder of VTR here, they've got good potential. But Hisaki does get knocked out, so it's up to a 3v3. Genfos getting that flush, and they're really going to want to have to move this up really quickly and start taking position after this fight's ended. But VTR are looking super strong. Genfos getting another knock, not able to get the flush now. Subang very low, and Basil still got some health on him, but not the best fight.
Teddy knocked out. Nefelhor and Flood pulling in quite close, looking for a more centered position. Nade is well placed from Defiant, though, or from the future. These guys have had many tussles in OCE over the years. Flood, the last one up, just lets out a nade in hope and prayer. Orcarin, though, just running straight towards Flood. Immediately does get knocked down. Was expecting someone to come in for the push, and now has a bit of help as well with this Murata that's close by, along with the smoke. Can potentially stay alive here and just cause a bit of catastrophe from the future, who are getting pinged as well from a distance away. That nade is going to be stopped, though, by the broken down Murano. There goes Victim Rise. They do lose the battle down to the south against Cerberus Esports. Divine with 4 players up, 3 kills, and looking to continue their climb in that top 3 portion of the leaderboard. There's the map, and in 10 seconds' time, we go to phase 7.
Yeah, the 2 strongest teams in this current zone, I'd definitely say, is Divine and Fury. They've both got nice high ground that they can play off. They've got some good zone control, and they've got numbers as well. So you're looking out for those 2 teams to start farming on the kills, as teams need to make their moves into this next circle.
So Power and MBK still don't have to move. Not for a little while, at least until potentially phase 8 or 9, and they do get Nezra as well.